Okay, y'all, so I really got to calm myself down right now because I'm really pissed off right now. It's raining and everything. So how would y'all feel if y'all's baby daddy let his wife, his new wife, put his hands on y'all child? Because I don't know if y'all okay with that, but that's not something I put up with. I don't condone it, and I'm really finna see what they got going on over here because I'm not with all that.
Hey.
Yeah, so it was brought to my attention by my daughter that you put your hands on her.
Okay.
Okay, why was that? Because that's just something I don't condone. And I told him that I don't want nobody putting their hands on my daughter but me because I'm the mother. So what makes you feel like you could do that?
Understood. First off, it was something mutual between me and the father because your daughter was being disrespectful.
She could, okay, this is my thing. My daughter's not disrespectful. And even if she was disrespectful, I told him to not let nobody excuse me, but really not excuse me, to put their hands on my daughter.
Okay, at the end of the day, your daughter's not disrespectful to you because you're her mother, and I guess the ways that she's learning, you're teaching her. However,
baby,
what
look,
I'm trying to tell you
it gotta
is
be
that
something
in my
that you
house
said
where
to
I pay
her
bills,
for her
where
to
I
even
stay,
feel
that it ain't gonna be tolerated.
Okay.
The child's
Well, I'm
gonna
gonna say
stay in
this:
the child's
we
place.
can't talk together. We can sing together, but we can't talk together.
But what I'm telling you is valid, and I'm
okay. So why you let her put her hands on our daughter? Because you know what you mean. What I'm doing here? I'm checking your wife because she feel like she got authority to put her hands on my daughter.
Let's stop it right there, because first off, she was being disrespectful.
How was she being disrespectful?
I gave her permission.
Why didn't why didn't you discipline her? I'm not talking to you right now. Why didn't you discipline her? Because you the daddy.
Because I wasn't here.
Okay, well, next time call me or something. Because I don't condone that. You need to speak to me. I'm the one that birthed her because this is my daughter. He is. But look, if he's not here to discipline her, then you need to wait. Because it's
you just could have called me about this. You
don't answer the phone. You don't answer the phone. And this is what I have to do to get through to y'all. If I got to pull up and act the fool to get through to you, what I'm going to do.
It's my child too.
Okay, but if you aren't there in the vicinity.
How you come in my house and try to act the fool?
What you mean act the? You weren't here. So if you were not here, then how you going to punish her? How you going to do that? So that's not her right to do that.
I gave her
only
permission
one here
to.
Though, and she's under my authority at the time. She should be listening. Don't you think?
I'm not saying she should not listen, but let me tell you something. This is my daughter. That's point blank, period. And if she comes back to me,
coming over here because if she's gonna be disrespectful and cross the line.
Okay, well, why you not being a daddy and checking her then and making sure that she's respecting her? Because you just told me that you weren't here when it happened. So if you're not here when it happened,
back and tell you that daddy whooped me, because I do. If she's disrespectful in my house, she's going to get punished.
She told me that.
That's
what she told me.
Ain't nothing new about this.
Let me handle this.
Okay, look.
Please
handle this, because I swear to God, you know how I get. And I'm already up here. It don't matter. It's my daughter, though. It's my daughter. And I ain't even really got to talk to you. We can definitely go there, because I'm with that time seeing. What? Listen to what?
She's under my roof. She's going to get punished if she's being disrespectful.
I'm not. Okay, look. I'm not saying she can't be punished, but she does not have to put her hands on my daughter. Call me and I will handle it, or either teach her to be more respectful, because she don't do that with me. So that says something.
So where she's learning
so that
from?
says something.
Obviously
you. Okay, but if she's disrespecting y'all, then what sense does that make?
What is you talking about?
Exactly, and she doesn't disrespect me. She disrespects y'all. So that says something about y'all's parenting. Baby, look, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not trying to come here with that. Really not. But you need to calm all that down. This ain't your child, though. But it's not your child. With it times 10. I'm with it times 10. I'm with it times 10. So calm that down.
Next time, if you're gonna come here, call me.
I will call you, and make sure you answer the phone. Make sure you answer the phone.
You don't have to.
You can get it too.
Like I said, don't touch my child no more, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And y'all can have a wonderful day, have a wonderful rainy day, and how about your narrow phone when I call next time? And I said what I said. Yeah, all right. Yeah. I can. This is what I be talking about, y'all. Like, I swear to God, don't let nobody else punish y'all kids, because this don't make no sense. I don't condone that.
All right, family. So that's a very sensitive argument right there, but we're gonna run that back. Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, y'all, so I really got to calm myself down right now because I'm really pissed off right now. It's raining and everything. So how would y'all feel if y'all's baby daddy let his wife, his new wife, put his hands on y'all child? Because I don't know if y'all okay with that, but that's not something I put up with. I don't condone it, and I'm really finna see what they got going on over here, because I'm not with all that.
All right, cool. So she asked this question: how would you guys feel if your baby daddy's new wife put her hands on y'all's child? Now, number one, I want you guys to bring that into mind, how you would feel, okay? So now that you understand how you would feel, know that she's going over there being as diplomatic as she can be, because you would be infuriated, right? it's not just about ego. Somebody hit my child. You're thinking about your child, okay? Being exposed to another adult, like physically punishing them. You understand? This can do a lot to your child's psyche. And you can understand as a parent why you wouldn't want that happening, right? Let's continue.
Hey.
Yeah, so it was brought to my attention by my daughter that you put your hands on her.
Okay.
Okay, why was that? Because that's just something I don't condone. And I told him that I don't want nobody putting their hands on my daughter but me, because I'm the mother. So what makes you feel like you could do that?
Understood. First off, it was something.
Now, here we go. Now, I want you guys to understand something. This does not sound like she's had this conversation with the new wife at all. It seems like she's had this conversation with the husband, okay? With her baby's daddy. So she's telling the mother here, or the wife here, I don't condone other people hitting my child or spanking my child or whatever. What gives you the right? What makes you think you can do that? Okay. Now the wife responds with understood. Okay. Now here's what she should explain why she would do something like that. What makes you think you can do that? You just put your hands on somebody else's child. Woman to woman, you got to understand where I'm coming from. What makes you think you can do that? You never tried to call me. These are things that I probably don't have to necessarily talk to her about if I'm the child's mother. She should have thought about all of this, right? She knows the child is with me most of the time. It goes to its father some of the time. So I'm someone who you can call. This is not someone who is not in the child's life at all, right? You could reach out to me, right? So she said she understood though. Let's go from here.
The mutual between me and the father because your daughter was being disrespectful.
She could, okay, this is my thing. My daughter's not disrespectful. And even if she was disrespectful, I told him to not let nobody excuse me, but really not excuse me, to put their hands on my daughter.
Okay.
All right. So notice she's saying, well, it was a mutual thing between me and her father. That's why I did it. Okay. She was being disrespectful. Okay. The mother responds, it's not like her to be disrespectful. But even if she was being disrespectful, I've had this conversation. No one is to put their hands on my child. Okay. Now the conversation is going to begin to be a little bit shifted here, because now it's going to be about, is the child actually being disrespectful? Then it bleeds into, if they are being disrespectful, who's the reason for the child being disrespectful, which is going off the rails at this point, because what she came for was to make sure no one else, make sure that she doesn't put her hands on a child anymore, right? But now they're talking about why the child is disrespectful, or if she's disrespectful or not, shifting blame, right? This is how conversations don't get to a closing, right? They go kind of everywhere, because everything becomes something that needs to be discussed, right? When the moral of the story was someone spanked her child, she doesn't like that. She's trying to get this fixed, right? But let's continue.
Hey, at the end of the day, your daughter's not disrespectful to you because you're her mother, and I guess the ways that she's learning, you're teaching her. However,
baby,
what
look,
I'm trying to tell you
it gotta
is
be
that
something
in my
that you
house
said
where
to
I
her
pay bills,
for her
where
to
I
even
stay,
feel
that it ain't gonna be tolerated.
Okay.
The child's
Well, I'm
gonna
gonna say
stay in
this:
the child's
we
place.
can't talk together. We can stay together, but we can't talk together.
But what I'm telling you is valid.
Now, here's where a problem came into play. She spoke to, okay, she may not be disrespectful to you, right? But over here, it's something different. Okay, but she didn't speak to, even if she is disrespectful, she does not condone another person other than the actual parents spanking the child, physically punishing the child, right? Now, here the wife is talking about it's her home. If it happens inside of her house, she can do this. So this is her basically saying, no, you can't. I'm not going to not put my hands on your child. If they're disrespectful in my house, I'm going to do this. This is where the problem gets drawn here. You understand? This is a huge problem, because you have an active parent who's in the child's life and a step parent saying, I'm going to spank them regardless. Now, right or wrong, you know that's going to cause problems with the biological parent, right? And so for the step parent to continue to want to do this and provoke in that way, you have to understand this is not wise. She is the biological mother, right? So that should trump whatever the stepmother's talking about. But she's going to say, it's in my house. There's got to be another way to handle this little girl other than the step parent physically punishing her, right? But let's continue.
But what I'm telling you is valid, and I'm
Okay, so why you let her put her
And
hands
I'm
on our
a
daughter?
single.
Because you know, what you mean what I'm doing here? I'm checking your wife because she feel like she got authority to put her hands on my
Well,
daughter.
let's stop it right there, because first off, she was being disrespectful.
How was
And
she
I
being
gave her-
disrespectful?
I gave her permission.
Why didn't
to
you,
say
that.
why didn't you
Back my
discipline
lips
her?
on that.
I'm not talking to you right now. Why didn't you discipline her? Because you the daddy.
Because I wasn't here.
Okay.
Now listen, guys. He said she was being disrespectful. The mother asked a very good question. How was she being disrespectful? How? Because if you're talking about hitting the stepmother, spitting in her face, doing something blatantly disrespectful, you could understand why he'd say, go ahead and handle that. But he never answers to how she was disrespecting her, right? And then she says, well, why did you have her do it instead of you do it? Well, I wasn't here. Well, why didn't you wait till you came home? As the father, she's actually in your custody, whether you're there or not. If she's with you, she's with you. You can leave the house, you can be at work. That child is still under your care and your protection, right? Why don't you have this set up with your new wife, that she is not to put hands on your child, knowing that your child has two parents already? That's your new wife, not your child's new mother. You understand? You clearly have the actual mother right here, and then you have you. The two of you can take care of that depth of punishment. You understand? I don't necessarily believe in that anyway, but it doesn't sound like that's their thing, because they don't believe in physical punishment. It sounds like they're saying their rules are, or the mother at least is saying her rules are, only she should do that. And as the father, as the co-parent to the child, I would agree with her. And any woman I dated would not put physical hands on my child. Absolutely not. You understand? Let's continue.
Hey, well, next time, call me or something. Because I don't condone that. You need to speak to me.
call
I'm
me
the
for
one that
what?
birthed her,
Is he
because
not the parent
this is
too?
my daughter. He
Is he
is.
not the- oh,
But look, if
exactly.
he's not
First
here
of
to
all, why you
discipline
bring
her,
over here
then you need to
recording?
wait. Because
Why
it's
you
stupid.
just could have called.
Now you see this, right? The mother says next time, obviously this conversation is not going her way. You've done it, okay? You told me why. I don't agree with why you did it. But she says, in the future, call me. Now, this is something they can come to agreement to, but they don't want to. That they're being unwork withable. You understand? And this is why I say, guys, be careful who you have your children with. Ask these types of questions before you even get deep with somebody. You understand? How would co-parenting look for you? Would you be okay with your new person physically punishing your child, even if the mother of your child or father of your child disagreed with that? Ask all of these questions, man, because you need to know how they think. You understand? Because here they are in this co-parenting situation, and the mother's saying, don't spank my child. You don't spank my child. Going forward, call me. I don't mind being involved. I don't mind telling my daughter to respect you. I don't mind. But call me. And they act like they don't want to do that. And now the husband's or the baby daddy is bringing up that she's over there now, shifting the subject. Of course, I'm over here. We both know why I'm over here. Why bring that back up? Of course, and I'll be over here again if she puts her hands on my child again. I don't know what you're talking about. All she said is, going forward, call me, right? But this is why simple conversations can't be handled, because we can't act like adults. Our egos get all involved. At this point, the new wife's ego is so entangled right now. This is not her child. She's looking at two parents right here. She should fall back and say, look, I had a mutual agreement with the father. That's why I spanked her the first time. But if you said call you, I will call you, because my goal is to get respected. My goal isn't to, be some type of dominant figure because she's in my house. I would prefer to be respected while she's in my home. But hey, I'd rather you guys be the ones to make sure she does that instead of me having to spank her. As a step parent, I wouldn't want to have to do that. Honestly, I don't want to have to whoop nobody else's kid. They already don't have their mama and daddy together. I'd rather them figure that out. But let's continue.
Tell me about this. You
don't answer the phone. You don't answer the phone. And this is what I have to do to get through to y'all. If I got to pull up and act the fool to get through to y'all, what I'm going to do.
Right, absolutely. If I have to pull up and act the fool to get through to y'all, that's what I'm going to do. You can understand that a phone call wouldn't have went any better. And then he's gaslighting and talking about she's pulling up trying to start trouble. No, man. Actually, if she has a conversation with you about spanking the child, or nobody else spanking the child but you, and you allow somebody to do that anyway, you starting something. You got to understand this. At least you have to give her a real reason why this happened. It's her child, for goodness sake. You don't understand that? Are you saying long as it's with me, I can do whatever I want to with it? I don't got to explain nothing to you because I'm their parent too? Because I'm telling you, that's one of the number one no-nos when it comes to co-parenting. That's what screws it all up. Even when you have that child, you still have their child. Yeah, and even when they have your child, they still have your child, right? You still care very much about what they're doing in front of and around your child or to your child, right? Absolutely, because it affects your child. Have you thought about long-term how this would affect your child? Some new person being able to put hands on them? Like call whatever they're doing disrespect without you being able to be able to see it yourself? You understand? This could be anything that she's calling disrespect. And that's why it's a good question. What did she do to disrespect you? They didn't say. But I would damn sure ask my daughter, what did you do when she said you were disrespecting her? Why are you acting like this towards her? Is it because you don't want to see your dad with someone else? Is it something deeper going on? Get to the bottom of this with your child if she's old enough to have these conversations. But you don't need 3 people now putting hands on her. You don't, man. But let's continue. Y'all say it takes a village, but it don't take a village in that way, family. Okay? Everybody don't have a right to physically put hands on y'all children. You do understand you're making your child susceptible to being like dominated in life, right? If they're used to people putting their hands on them, when will they know where to draw the line, family? Why wouldn't they move in fear out of being intimidated that somebody would put hands on them? Why is that a thought that comes to their mind? Why are they so quickly intimidated and in fear of others? And they always think about somebody putting hands on them. I'm telling you, you got to think about this type of stuff. Let's continue.
So, okay, but if you aren't there in the vicinity,
how you gonna come in my house and try to act the?
What you mean act? You weren't here. So if you were not here, then how you gonna punish her? How you gonna do that? So that's not her right to do that.
I gave her
only
permission
one here
to.
though, and she's under my authority at the time. She should be listening. Don't you
Okay,
think?
I'm
It
not
wouldn't be
saying
smart
she
of
should
her
not
to
listen, but let me tell you something. This is my daughter. That's
Okay.
point blank, period.
And I heard
And if she
so
comes
then you
back
don't want
to
her
me,
coming over here because if she's gonna be disrespectful and cross the line.
okay, well why?
Now, you can see the mother's actually responding, right? I'm not saying that she shouldn't respect you. She should. But what I'm saying is you shouldn't put your hands on her. It's really simple. You could call me. Now the wife's going to, well, you shouldn't even bring her over here. Now, if the mother actually goes, okay, fine, I ain't sending her over here, then that's weaponizing the child, right? That's what y'all gonna say? Nah, because in that case, you're protecting your child from this other person putting physical hands on them just because the daddy gave her permission to. Yo, no, that's not how that's gonna go. That's why I be saying co-parenting, man, is very difficult because you cannot come into it thinking I'm going to discipline this child, especially if the other parent is in their life. I mean, literally, yo, they might have a problem with that. Now you got to contend with this other person just to try and discipline this child. Yo, I ain't about to get that invested like that, where I got to fight back and forth with this other grown-up about their child. It's their child. You understand? I'm not going to get that invested. Let's continue.
You're not being a daddy and checking her then and making sure that she's respecting her.
Not doing it?
Because you just told me that you weren't here when it happened. So if you're not here when it
come back and
happened,
tell you that daddy whooped me, because I do. If she's disrespectful in my house, she's going to
she
get
told
punished.
me that
That's
what she told me.
Ain't nothing new about this.
Let me handle this.
Okay, look,
If she's
please
under our
handle
guidance,
this, because I swear to God, you know how I get.
What?
And I'm already up here. It don't matter. It's my daughter, though. It's my daughter. And I ain't even really got to talk to you. We can definitely go there, because I'm with that time seeing. What? Listen to what?
See, now, that's very provoking of that wife to get involved to that degree. Like if I hit your daughter, and if you want to come over here, you can get it too. Let me tell you something, family. If I were in some type of situation where this man was being a stepfather to my child, and he hit my child, and I was against it, and I went over there to talk about it, to discuss it, and this man said some shit like that to me, it's a wrap. I'm telling you now, it's a wrap. You already hit my child. I'm over here trying to do my best just to even be talking to y'all, just to be having a conversation. It's taking everything out of me to do that. And then you had to go and say that? Oh, we about to see then. You understand? Like, I wouldn't be very good at co-parenting. I know I wouldn't, because something like that would push me over the edge. You done put your hands on my child? Man, no way, period, man. No way. Let's continue.
My roof. She's going to get punished if she's being disrespectful.
I'm not, okay, look, I'm not saying she can't be punished, but she does not have to put her hands on my daughter. Call me and I will handle it, or either teach her to be more respectful, because she don't do that with me. So that says something.
So where she's learning
So that
from?
says something.
She don't-
Obviously
she
you.
damn sure don't learn it
Obviously
here.
you. Okay,
She
but if
damn
she
sure-
just
I see that's irrelevant, and that's why I say, as co-parents, we can both get to the bottom of why she's doing whatever you guys are saying is disrespectful. But first, what is she doing? When is this happening? What was said to her? What's going on? Right? We want to get control of this thing, but if we don't get control of it by blaming each other. Was she disrespectful? She learned it from you. Was she with you most of the time? Right. And she respect me. She with you some of the time. So, hey, that ain't my fault. Well, it's your fault because she with you. She learned it from, like, dude, this is just spinning your wheels over nuanced stuff. Like, both parents take part in raising your child, teaching them what's up. You don't blame each other for who your child is being in this moment. That's ridiculous, family. All right? If once you're dealing with your child and you can conclude that you have a contribution to how your child is behaving, as a parent, as an adult, you're supposed to correct that behavior. But you shouldn't live in the blame game. It's your fault they're doing this. No, it's your fault they're doing this. No, it's your fault. Yo, y'all acting like kids while discussing a child. Like, the child needs somebody to be an adult here. Let's continue.
what sense does that make?
24/7. What is you talking about?
Exactly, and she doesn't disrespect me. She disrespects y'all. So that says something about
Baby,
y'all's
you're giving her the
parenting.
permission to disrespect us,
Baby, look,
So
I'm
she
gonna
think
tell
it's
you
okay.
something. I'm not trying to come here with that. Really
You
not.
lying.
But you need to calm all that down. This ain't your child, though. But it's not your child.
So she said, I'm not trying to come here with that. Like, she's meaning like some animosity, like drama. I came here because I have to come here to discuss with you what's going on with my child. So, but here's the mother, here's the wife. You did come here with that. You can't, she didn't. She actually could have walked up there a whole lot more angry, a whole lot more aggressive, in my opinion, and considering what has been what has happened. You already talked to the daddy about no one else punishing the child, and now your child came back to say that someone else did do it. Yo, you would be furious, okay? And so now she's saying, look, I didn't come here for drama. I really came here to get this handled in an adult way, which you can see, it appears she came to do that. She's frustrated about it, as anyone would be. But there is no excuse for the wife to be emotional right now, to be caught up in this by way of being challenging in any way. You said you only hit her because you got permission, right? So you know that, so you don't come at it like, if you act up in my house, you're gonna get that work. When you only hit her to begin with because you got permission, but now you saying that, it's kind of sounding like a little bit of ego, right? Right, so it basically sounds like if the husband did not give permission, you wouldn't have put your hands on my child. But now look at how you're acting. If you only did it because he said you had permission to, why are you acting like this? It should just be like, I understand how she feels. I do understand how she feels. Like, at least try and have some compassion here. But let's continue. This be driving me crazy. Let's continue, y'all.
I'm with it times 10. I'm with it times 10. I'm with it times 10. So calm that down.
Next time, if
And
you're
I'm
gonna
putting
come here,
obviously,
call me.
clearly.
I will call you. And make
You
sure
don't
you
have to
answer
do
the
this.
phone. Make sure you answer the
Your
phone.
baby got it.
You don't
So
have
you
to.
here, you can get it too.
Like I said, don't touch my child no more, okay? That's all I'm gonna say.
All right,
And y'all can have a wonderful
next
day.
time,
Have
call
a
me.
wonderful rainy day. And
Yes.
how about your narrow phone when I call next
All right,
time?
yeah.
And I
wanna
said
see
what I
that phone
said.
call.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So she even said, next time I'll even call, but you got to answer the phone. But it shouldn't be a next time. So I don't know why we were discussing what will happen the next time, right? Before I walk away from this door, I need to understand that only you and I are going to physically punish my child, if that's what we both believe in. Okay, I need to understand, I need her to understand that even if he give you permission, if you put your hands on my child, I'm going to be right back. Do you understand? That's something for you to think about. Right or wrong, you can call it your own house. I'm going to be at your house. And you're going to have to prove all that stuff you just said. Because I'm not going to let you put your hands on my child. You really think I'm about to bend on this? It's my child, man. That's why if I'm the stepfather and this was happening the other way around and a man shows up at my doorstep saying, you put your hands on my child, and he's up there aggressive, angry, and he is in his child's life, yo, I'm falling back. It's not about ego. That is his child. That is his legacy. I'm married to the child's mother. That's not my legacy, no matter how much I love that child, no matter what. That's his legacy, family. So as a result, because of that, I will fall back. I'd have to. Why am I going to argue with a man about how to discipline his own child? Yo, that's crazy. Let's continue.
I guess. This is what I be talking about, y'all. Like, I swear to God, don't let nobody else punish y'all kids, because this don't make no sense. I don't condone that.
Well, some people do believe in that. I've heard Kevin Samuels often ask, women, would you let a man spank your child? And women always, most of the time, say, nah. So, very rarely they say, yeah, I would. But if I was a woman, my answer would be no. So I guess I'd have to be a single mother. As a man, I don't want nobody else spanking my child. And I mean, I don't spank my children anyway. I have different methods. I discipline my child, which is I teach them beforehand. I give them structure. I give them principles and morals. That is discipline. If they make a mistake, we talk about it. We correct ourselves. As an adult, ain't nobody whooping you when you make mistakes. You got to deal with it and self-reflect, and you got to change it because you want a better life. And you want a better life for those around you, and you want to lead a better life, and you want to represent yourself well. This is why you carry yourself in the way you carry yourself, not because you don't want a whooping. So I don't want to teach children that. You understand? Now y'all got y'all ways, and I'm not condemning. You understand? But in any scenario where you have two parents who are willing to whip their children, it's still got to be some type of rules of engagement around that once you guys separate, because now you got them in two different households. And one of them may agree with whipping, but they don't agree with nobody else whipping them. And that's got to be understandable somehow. You know? Anyway, you guys put what you guys think about it in the comments. I think the wife, the current wife, is completely wrong for how she is responding to this mother, okay, who was there about real concerns, okay? I think that she's being overreactive. She's being very provoking. And I think she could have made a situation 10 times worse, okay, if that mother wasn't so centered, okay? Seriously, I don't think the father's doing a good job at all when it comes to co-parenting, that he's blatantly going against something that she said they agreed to. But now he's justifying it. Well, I wasn't home. Did you say that? Did you say that you would let somebody else spank our child if you wasn't home? Or did we just discuss that you wasn't going to let nobody else do that? Because it sounds like she thought they had an agreement. And he ain't trying to respect that at all. You understand? And she's being treated like an outsider when she goes to her family. This is her family. That wife is her family too. That's the stepmother to her child. So she goes to them to talk to them, and she's being treated like an outsider. They didn't even invite her in. You understand, family? So this right here would be, I'd be very weary, okay, about what this relationship is going to look like, being my child involved with them, and how she's going to be acting in front of my child, things that may be being said. I would be very weary because of how they handle things right there. That's not a beautiful family situation. Now, you can have that even with co-parents, but right here, they can't have a discussion. Even this is a serious conversation now. The ego's tied up and it's going everywhere but where it's supposed to be. Ends up in being an inflated or inflamed argument where threats are being made about getting physical with each other because they can't have a simple conversation, or they can't have a difficult conversation, however you want to put it. That's a difficult conversation. But if I'm the person who inflicted the pain and I'm the step parent, and I know I hit this child, even if it was permission from my wife, I'm falling back because I understand the plight of the father. I do. He's in his life. He doesn't need nobody else spanking his child. I could absolutely understand that. And I'm not about to sit here and get an ego and tangle back and forth with this man. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it is in that chaos that you find yourself. Follow me on YouTube, family. I can't stress that enough. Peace.